Hey friends, they cut down my tree. Anyway, we got a 3-mile recovery, so let me pop you on my head and we'll get to work. Another Wednesday run. Oh, check out my shoe. I tore my shoe open. So that should be fun to run in. Alright. I gotta tighten you up 1 second. I'm already sweating. Alright. That's better. So, should be nice and easy, nice and mellow. I mean, as mellow as it can be. Let's see. Start workout. Now, our hip flexors are super sore, just like normal. But it's good for us to get out on them. So let's see if I can get my battery pack shifted in my pocket so it lays flat. There we go. But yeah, I've never run on a blown out shoe before. That's the hardest I've ever pushed my shoes, where I was like, oh crap, I guess I gotta go figure out how to buy shoes in Japan. I was gonna say it's unfortunate, but I don't know, it's kind of a cool flex. Excellent. So, right off the bat, but you know, it's weird, on the last run, which we did 8 miles, so somewhere along the continuum of running 8 miles, my shoe said no more and popped. And I didn't even notice, but I had been perceiving that it wasn't fitting well, and I think that's the root cause. I mean, but you know, you just gotta keep going. Now the problem I have living in Tokyo, I got big feet. My feet are size 13. So I gotta find a pair of shoes that serves me. Which means a trip out to Shibuya, particularly Harajuku. It's really quite impressive, actually, to just bust my shoes like that. I was gonna say it's an indication I pushed them too far, which is true. I'm actually quite pleased that I pushed myself that far. And it's interesting because that region of my foot where the shoe blew out was particularly sore after the run. And I actually don't know why. Let's go. Now I'm already gassed. It's weird. Today's an odd day because it's not death hot the way that it normally can be, but it rained a little bit last night, so you can feel the thickness on the air. It's like running through water without, I guess, the perk, of rain. I don't even know if that makes sense. But it is bizarre running on a shoe with a massive hole in it, because I now immediately feel it. I mean, based on the pressure my foot is sliding in and out of my shoe laterally. So we'll keep it nice and mellow. We'll shorten the distance. We'll still get some good cardio. Maybe we'll walk the back half. Enjoy the journey. And then we'll go from there. It'll be great. Alright. Let's keep it going. But I am tired. I am sore going into this. And I've also been working just on like overall form. Now, this is my third time through the DadBod program. DadBod makes half marathon training accessible to folks who are heavier set or have pre-existing health conditions. Oh, it's gorgeous. And I built the program on day 0 of my journey. Ended up training towards a Tokyo Legacy half marathon, which was awesome. And it's over. We ran it. We got it done. And now we are well on our way to train for the Tokyo Legacy half marathon again. Now, the cool part in the DadBod program is that when I ran that race, I wasn't able to register for the official one, but I found a runners club that ran it just unofficially on a Sunday afternoon. So, ran the whole course, ran it in community with an OG-san, which is a grandpa. We walked our paces, chatted, and built a lifelong friendship. Whew. So that was cool. But now, actually, we have a helper. She does like dishes and laundry, floats the kids. So we got 4 kids. We need all the help we can get. She's amazing. And she knows that I run, and she like messaged me. She's like, have you seen that you could run this half marathon for charity? And lo and behold, it was the Tokyo Legacy half marathon 1 year later. And I was like, charity check. So I paid my $500 charity deposit. And here we go. How excited I was. Whew. Getting tired. Now, the perk of the way we train, like, some folks try to come out and go hard every single day and push, you know, different capacity or ability of their body. Train arms super hard, next day train legs super hard, rinse and repeat, right? I found, from a running perspective, 3 days a week is enough. Some people have different thresholds. What I like about 3 days a week is it keeps the journey fresh. It's always challenging, it's always dreaded, but it's an adequate amount of running to train up for a half marathon, because the other 3 days a week we focus on strength, core, back, everything associated with giving you the posture, the form, and the strength necessary to progress a far distance safely. Share all that because Wednesday runs, which are today, these are our recovery runs. We're still getting out on our body. We're still wicked sore. But I know the intensity's lower. The distance is lower. Success looks like getting out on our legs, going somewhere for a little bit, and coming back. As opposed to Mondays, those are long days. Mondays we go and venture out 5, 6, 7. Or like we did on Monday, 8 miles. Whew, the river's got a nice smell today, very, very rivery. And then Fridays are all days. And you need those too. On Fridays, we do what's called a fart lick. Sounds stupid, but they're brutal. You can check one out on my page. It's high interval training, so low intensity for a minute, upper intensity at a variable interval from 30 seconds all the way up to we did 3:30 last week. That was wild. So there's always room to push and to grow, to rest and reflect. Today is rest and reflect day, which is good because we're starting off utterly gassed. Our shoes blown out, our feet hurt, we're sore from yesterday's lift. Hi, YouTube. Oh. Oh, hi. ありがとうございました。I think I didn't have the words for that conversation, but I think I wish I could have translated that. I think he's asking like, hey, are you losing weight? Are you getting healthy? Keep it going. Something. I got the tone. Because he sees the work. I got claps. Got claps from OG-san. Fantastic. 10 out of 10. Now, friends, if you've been messaging, my phone is wonky with comments. No worries if you're just lurking. You're on a good run. But just want to let you know, I'm not ignoring you on purpose. I periodically refresh. Our 1 mile marker, or just past it, is that bridge. Which, in all seriousness, I already want to stop and turn around. It's amazing. Amazing how much lactic acid can build up over two days. Sleep schedule hasn't been on as well, so sleep impacts recovery. I try to get as much sleep as I can, which is challenging when you're doing consulting, content creation, brand management, founding a startup, and raising 4 kids in Japan. Almost there. Come on. So we definitely are challenging and pushing ourselves today. and we're pushing beyond what we desire. Whew. All right, turn it back. So, sorry for the clickbait, false advertisement. We're doing a 2-mile recovery today, not 3. Okay, this week we did a 4. We were feeling it. Not today. Maybe it's the hole in my shoe. So, bring it down to intensity. Success looks like it in the distance. Down to our river spot. In just a minute or two, it's over that way. Have some time of rest, reflection. Head out. Every once in a while, I step on a rock on the edge of my foot, and it was always hurting. I never understood why. It's because my feet are pushing outside the bounds of my shoe, and when there's a rock there, it goes right into the bottom of my foot. I thought there's something wrong with my foot. There's something wrong with my shoe. I'll post a picture of it later this week. Let's go. Let's go. Here we go. Almost there. Almost. We could just feel the desire for doneness. Hug them up, and doneness is just past the bridge, so we get the nice recovery walk. Water time. Oh my god, come on, push, push, push. I don't want to get my heart rate too high, but I do want to be in the realm of challenge. I want to get a nice 1.2 mile jog in, which is what this is, and then we'll walk 0.8 back, just based on the blown out shoe. Or at least that way we get out on our body, get challenged, work the cardio, work the core, work the back, and hold a challenging rhythm. I'm not excited to break in a new pair of shoes. That is the worst. Here we go. This is our trail. We're gonna go down by the water, but I'll pull you off because there's an OG sign up there. No need to interrupt his day. Oh, we're sore. So some of the mechanics and the loading on my feet and my knees feel weird and asymmetric, and that's because they should, because I'm running in an unsupported shoe. So just helpful context. Oh. Let's see if we can get down to the water, or if the grass is too high. The river's actually really high today. Actually, we can't. The trail's too wet. We'll come down here and sit. it gets muddy, we'll stop. Yep, it's already wet and muddy right here. So normally we would go out and there's a landing, but because of the rain, the water's super high. So I guess we'll turn back. It's kind of fun though, see how high it is. But I don't want to get trapped. Alright, let's walk. I wanted more of a break, but no matter. There's the shoe. Normally this would be a period of rest and reflection. Squat down some 5 minutes. Personal prayer in my head, let you all have some mindfulness. But there's too many people around, water's too high. No mindfulness for you today. You're stuck with me. Oh God. Coming up on some more people. We're gonna walk up some stairs, puppy on my head. We'll finish up. Well, this looks kind of pleasant. Can we make this work? I think we can make this work. As long as we don't go rolling down here. Oh God! Let's sit on our bum. Set our phone somewhere. So friends, for those of you who don't know, oh my God, it's hot. It's so hot in Tokyo. For those of you who don't know, welcome to the Friends in My World, as I learn how to raise 4 kids in Japan. Welcome to DadBod, where I make fitness accessible to folks, your average Joe, folks who are heavier set, have injuries, prior health conditions, all that, and just bring people into my personal journey to hopefully encourage you to take your next best step in yours. Running for me has always kind of been a little bit of a formation, like spiritual exercise. I come from a faith context. So when my spinal injuries and stuff were at their worst, or I was getting epidurals every month, I could really only run about half a mile. So I would run half a mile, which would be incredibly painful, ill-advised. And then I'd find a bench near a quiet spot, typically around a lake or some abandoned train tracks. I had a couple different spots during a lot of transitions my family was navigating. Sorry, it's so hot, I'm just dripping. And I'd sit down, pray, wrestle with God, get some kind of discernment on my life for what my next step could look like. And then I would get up and pain run the last half mile back. And then after years of therapy, physical therapy, personal training, online coaching, all kinds of stuff, like I started to find the right core strength, posture, back recovery. I got off of my epidural injections for pain. I started running half marathons in Japan, which has been amazing. I have another one scheduled in October. But for me on Wednesdays particularly, almost to remind myself of where I started, I try to find a quiet spot. I sit down, I let you all look at water, and for 5 minutes I just kind of rest and reflect, depending on the day, wrestle with God and figure out what my next looks like, because life is so complex. And for me, I get a sense of purpose and encouragement from prayer and from a relationship with God, Christ, Holy Spirit, however y'all navigate that. That said, I try to make this time as inclusive as possible for people in our community. I just like to share the context of how it affects me. So anyone's welcome from any other faith context to use this time just to center themselves, rest, prayer, gather themselves. And then, for those of you from different spirituality contexts, you're more than welcome to use this as a quiet time of unattachment and mindfulness. I studied Asian spirituality in grad school, so I started adjusting the language from inner faith to inner faith and inner spirituality, because they're different. They're two things, or lack thereof. Just use it as a moment of pause from swiping to the left and the right So enjoy some river, enjoy watching little ripples of bugs and fish, and I will take, what is it, 5 minutes. So we are at 5:32. Norman! Life is complex. It's been incredibly busy for me. That's excellent, Norman. It's so nice to hear from you, bud. Unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, you get to wait 5 minutes for us to chat some more. So I'm gonna take some time to reflect, and then Norman, we gotta catch up. I have a lot on my mind to share with you. So enjoy your river ripples, fish. Excellent. Well, I hope you enjoyed your time. Norman, check out my shoe. This is why we're running shorter. See how my foot is torn through the shoe? It's not supposed to be like that. Fortunately, I have large feet and a wide foot box, which is why my foot has busted out of the box. But now I have a dilemma of how do I get shoes in Japan that fit a size 13, because I'm larger than every single Japanese person, statistically speaking. So that'll be fun. I'm actually going to take a quick picture here because I was looking at it on YouTube and it's really darn aesthetic. Might be a good thumbnail if I could get the reflection right. So give me a second. Camera, portrait. See if I can get the same kind of vibe. See, it doesn't look as good. Maybe it needs to be wider. It just needs to be a photo. The composition felt really cool. There's good symmetry. Do you want to get the highlights? I don't know, the way the GoPro was color grading it, I really liked. Symmetric, all the angles are pulling the right way. Rule of fifths here, or rule of thirds. Oh, was I covering it with my finger? Stupid. Let's try that again. It was almost perfect. Nope, don't. We want to focus on the dark shadowy bits. Nope, dark shadowy bits. There we go. Really nice. It's funny, I'm tilting my head to see if it's good, which makes me a little bit confused. And let's look at that. No, turn sideways yet. Dork. It's got thumbnail potential. It's interesting. Alright, let's go back to you. Alright, are you ready? Stand up. Get to work. It's funny, Norman. You know, I was about to start like relaxing, reflecting, praying, all that kind of stuff. And you were like, oh, it's really relaxing. And immediately I was kind of fixating on like the fish. Like in the little ripples. And I imagine, you know, starting, I went like, my brain went cinematography mode. And I was imagining starting all aesthetic and restful, just like you were experiencing, but then the camera zooming super into like one of the little water walker spider things, trying to cross the water with all his buddies, and these fish popping up from the bottom and like grabbing the bugs and pulling them under, and like having it be the same kind of sequence of like any kind of military movie where they're like really zoomed in on the main character running for their life with like shrapnel and artillery fire going off, like the same kind of sounds and sequence, but from the perspective of little water walker bugs. So you really threw off my prayer, okay? Because I was like sequencing that in my head. No, it's fine. All right, let's walk. Those Japanese sure are small, so small. They're fun-sized, just like my wife. She's like 4'11". Isn't being small statistically cheaper? Yes, yes it is. Unless your market normalizes statistically small, and then you adjust what a small, a medium, and a large size are, and then you have the same price leveling as you would in a US context. Then you just increase your profitability because people are paying for more t-shirt or less t-shirt, so your material costs are lower, your price is the same. So like in the US I wear an XL, in Japan I have to find a 3X, sometimes a 4X, depending on the context. Same thing's gonna happen with shoes. So I'm gonna go, there's a lot of like boutique shoe stores in Tokyo. There's like a Magnificent Mile, like kind of, that's a Chicago word. There's a street where you buy it with like the Apple store and all that crap. There's a Nike store, they cap out at 12, size 12 US. I don't know what it is in the UK. And there's a Hoka store, H-O-K-A, H-O-O-K. I forgot if it's a who or a ho. Anyway, they specialize specifically in running shoes, and I think they even have processes to like get you fitted. So I want to see if I can get a wider toe base. I'm gonna walk in with my busted shoe and be like, Taskete, can you help? They're like, jogging skides, I like jogging. Demo, walui, this is bad, but this is bad. Show them the shoe. Let them see if they can size me and find something. Use my broken Japanese. And then pay $160 for some plastic and cloth. I saw the video you posted. The tiny one is so much bigger than when I saw him last on stream. Oh, the sprint planning? Is that the one you watched? If so, that's awesome. I'm gonna try to put those out each week to hold myself accountable. I'm not perfect at it because I'm already busy. But I think it's a good exercise to take people through. And that way they could like see how I build a business little by little. The reason being, like, I think some people need to shadow in order to learn and grow. And the other thing is, let's say like in 6 months or 3 months or 2 years, financially, like aFamilyFrenzy, my business, aFamilyFrenzy Social, becomes like wicked profitable. Like, let's just pretend things go bananas. And I'm creating content and classes and community that's providing a ton of value to people. They reciprocate that value. We're doing $5 million a year and I hire 6 employees, right? Well, then someone floats into that community and they're like, bleh. Look at this overnight success. That's what's wrong with content creators this day. These days, right? Like, they just think like it's because I've like poured out on this algorithm or something. I think it's helpful for them to be like, oh no, diligently, this is what he did every week to eventually build. This is where he adapted. And I think people like a story that unfolds over time. I was gonna try to do that with the Moving to Japan series, and then moving just became so hard I couldn't film and edit quick enough. So I think I will try to do the sprint reviews because they're only 15 to 20 minutes. It's an easy edit. And it's a good practice for me. So I was gonna see if I could record one today. The issue, it's not an issue, but my kids still aren't in school. So like finding a quiet moment to get everything rigged up, have my exercise complete, take a shower and get on camera and knock out my short form and long form, so hard. That's why I've been sticking to the run live streams. Yes! How's the family doing? You know, we're getting there. Felicia's jumping into the game a little bit with content. She's working on some branding. So we've like created and tweaked 3 or 4 different logos for our sub brands with DadBod, Japan Life, one-on-one with the Pretentious Engineer. And then I'm making like these nice, I call them almost like a picture frame for content connected to any of those sub brands. So one of the things struggled with is we don't have a niche. We have like 4 to 5 niches because that's who I am and what I like. So I wanted to provide people with is subtle color schemes that share a common color, so that you can immediately within like a second, if you've seen our channel, know, Joe's a snarky engineer right now. We're going into fitness. Oh, we're going into Japan Life. So basically these like little frames, they provide the content a little bit of polish and harmony. And then we're doing the same kind of frames for any posts that I do as well. So if I have a picture and then write a little bit, you'll be able to know immediately it's connected to fitness, immediately it's connected to building a business, the aFamilyFrenzy Social. And that way it just helps people know instantly which Joe is talking, so they can lock in or swipe. And I'm hoping the algorithm somehow picks up on that. I don't know how that will work, but we'll see. But to answer your question in more depth, like family doing well, like it's challenging. Like we exited J&J 30 days ago, but we changed houses 60 days ago. My son still can't sleep through the night, so we're we're working with him on that, and it's hard because he's just a sea of anxiety right now. 1 second. So he's just like, he gets so anxious and worried. He wants his old bed, and he's the oldest. He's 7, so like our patience for him in the transition is lower because we expect, I was gonna say we expect better, which immediately shows like the expectations are wrong as a parent. Like, you have to meet each kid exactly where they're at, not where you want them to be, and then see if you can edge them towards where you think they could be. And it's just difficult because like me and my wife don't have an easy, like an evening slot to connect anymore. I'm waking up at 4 to work out so that I can take some calls with US folks for consulting and be present with the kids for breakfast, and then working through the middle of the day. And so like his inability to cope and transition impacts me and my wife's ability to connect and rest. So then you parent from fatigue. How gozaimasu. So it's a little tricky for sure. But yeah, it's Kai. Kai's having a hard time. Let's you want to break a rule for a minute? Let me show you a little bit. We got some time. But today's going to be a busy day. I've been trying to carve out certain days that are like deep work focused, and then other days where I'm doing light work, follow-ups, leads, basically sales kind of stuff. Today's one of those days, but I am going to try to squeeze in a little bit of creativity in the beginning, and then I think I just need to like crank out a backlog of short, quick tasks. So see how much I can push on that. Part of me is tempted to go live for accountability, but I don't think so. I think that's just, sometimes going live is too much of a crutch to do something, and it's actually a distraction, even though I love going live. Finish the trees. They've been cutting down trees for 1.5 years. I want my trail back. Oh, that's really disheartening. Hopefully he can get past that soon and get some good sleep. Yeah, hopefully everyone can get some good sleep. We'd all be a little happier. No, it's pretty wild what he's been navigating. Like, and people say like, oh, kids are super adaptable and move when they're young, it's easier, and this and that. When you move when it's old, it's harder. Like, I think moving internationally is just hard. And deciding to stay international is equally hard. Like, we'd have a very different life if we had taken the return path back to the US. Right now we'd be in a whole different state. We'd be in still financial red zone. Keep getting clickbait towards a bra. Like, I don't need lingerie, YouTube. Not in the market. But so it's been very interesting to see how that all has been panning out, because every kid navigates it differently. Our girls manifest kind of their anxiety in the transition their own way. You see it in like our oldest daughter just acts out more. We're also in a different home, which it's tighter, has different rules, so they're kind of navigating a shift in how we physically can live. Oh, everyone's on top of each other, everyone's fighting a little bit more. So it's like an area where we have to learn how to do hard things, and we have to learn how to do it quicker because the wall of our house touches another house, and if we run into issues, and then we get evicted, and that doesn't sound fun. So we're trying to work through that. Super challenging. So that's a lot of hoopla. I'm so tired. It's so funny, you can make an excuse for anything. I'm like, oh, I'm tired. Oh, I don't want to walk, I'm sore. Oh, there's something wrong with my shoe. And it's like, actually, legitimately, there's something wrong with my shoe. My shoe's blown out. Dude, aloha craw, check this out. Look what happened to my shoe. We ran 8 miles on Monday, and we have a blowout, and I don't know how to get shoes that are size 13 in Japan. So that should be fun. But nice to see you, friend. Hope you're doing well. I haven't been on Twitch in ages because I haven't figured out how to multi-stream while I'm doing runs, and I haven't been doing like video games or anything like that because my kids are off this summer and there's a lot going on. Imagine being evicted. Also, aloha. It's nice to see you, bud. Thanks for stepping into my world for a minute. How are things in yours? See, your problem is those aren't Crocs. Oh God. You know, Crocs serve a very interesting demographic. When they first came out, well, and still, people cast a lot of shade on them. It's like, just go wear normal sandals or wear shoes. It's like the worst of worst worlds in a hybrid nobody needs. But then, like, attending like 60 plus, 30 plus surgeries in Japan, medical professionals, at least in Japan, wear Crocs all the time because you can slip in and out of them and they're helpful from like a sterile field. They're easy to clean. Some people wear normal tennis shoes, but it's just so funny of like Crocs are just this like low tier ghetto shoe is the best way I could describe it, candidly. And then like top tier highly educated surgeons live in them, right? It's so funny. Oh, that's fair. Twitch is a hot mess. Oh really? What's been going on? I just got off a sabbatical to Greenland and Iceland. Now I'm trying to finish my new office and content creation world. That's exciting. Yeah, I'm doing a ton with content creation right now. Just to like catch you up on life in under 5 minutes. I contingent resignation to Johnson & Johnson. It was contingent on securing another job in Japan. That was my... They would... Just based on the journey my family navigated to do 12 relocations in 1 year to get out here. Leadership changed, prioritization changed. My family took all the risk and offered in the US, which was a job I had done 5 years prior at the wrong pay level in a different state. It's in New Jersey. We were from Ohio, 14 hours from family by we left 14 family by plane. So the whole thing was just an utter disaster for us to navigate. I made it through 5 interviews for a director of business development role. During the process, they nerfed it to a senior manager. Then they localized the salary, which is going to be a 40% pay cut. Then they stripped subsidized housing. They stripped international schooling for our kids, home leave benefits. And then after 5 interviews, they decided to go with someone else. So I have strategically in love left Johnson & Johnson after a decade advancing surgical robotics, AR, VR, and digital ecosystems in a wide array of engineering and global leadership capacities. And I'm starting my own venture. So I'm doing consulting. I'm starting a paid community called One-on-One with the Pretentious Engineer, where I help engineers, entrepreneurs, and global leaders find their way. I'm working on doing high-ticket offers for a podcast. So basically I would like meet with someone over Zoom for 4 to 5 sessions, understand the essence of who they are, help them figure out what their grand challenge is they're trying to get after, their method of doing it, who they want to bring into that call or vision, and then upgrade their audio visual so that they have like a ability to record top, use that chat are just being hyper optimized, and it's being used to filter through resumes, and there's like no way to filter to the top for a lot of people. I just talked to someone who applied to 300 plus jobs and got one. Whereas I think if you have the right video assets that can be shared and brings people into your story, they're more likely to partner with you. And then I'm doing consulting for brand management, and I'm founding a company. So I'm doing all that, and I'm writing a book. A little bit busy. You're the kind of person who can pull that off. Well, thank you so much. That really means a lot, Craw. We'll see. I have to. I gotta figure out how to generate enough revenue to keep our kids in school. Like, we pulled a $75,000 personal loan during our exit to cover international schooling for almost a year, housing for 6 months, and then that gives us like a 3 to 6 month burn rate depending on how much we generate to like buy food. And then it's also dependent on getting continuity of our visa status by founding a company through the city of Shibuya. I'm working on a video called My Next. I've spent a month on the edit. I actually might be landing a sponsor for it, so that's why I'm waiting to distribute it. And then that leads our community through those different channels if they're looking for the podcast, for instance, or joining the paid community or things like that. All my respect goes to the little ones. You and Felicia, you guys have moved so much over the last years. Can't imagine not being able to settle down. We're close. Now we've definitely adjusted to Japan living now, so we're in a 3 LDK, which is a 3-bedroom living room, dining room, kitchen. It's incredibly tight. I've done a lot of DIY furniture to make things work. I'm almost done with the last piece of that. And then we're hoping to ride that out for less than 2 years so that we can get financially level and rent something that works for us, especially with Akio, who's our 4th. Craw, you haven't met Akio. We're up to 4 kids now. Unless you see my shorts. He's in all my shorts because I have to be a dad and content creator at the same time. Yeah, we're hoping to get out of there by the time he's walking and climbing a lot, which means we need to get some serious capital. So trying to close some deals, jumping into the startup scene in Tokyo, which is super volatile financially. So it's like all the risk. People would say like no risk, no reward. I'm not out here for the reward. I'm out here not to fail. With 4 kids in another country, that sounds like it would suck. So we're trying not to do that. But the timer's ticking. So any video you watch and share, any community you join or things that we get off the ground, it all helps. That's cool though. Thank you so much. International school is about 18,000 USD per year per kid. We have 3 in school now, 4 in school next year. You can add that up. Sorry, I'm walking past Obasan. But yeah, it's basically college tuition for 4 kids, but every single year. And then eventually doing that all the way through high school, and then continuing into college tuition. By the way, let's take a look at the Todoroki Ravine. Thanks for being here, friends. Good morning. It's very nice today. Very, very nice. So we used to run that, and there used to be like a nice OG-san, a grandpa, who would like rake it every single morning and glare at me. And it's been closed because trees be falling, and the city of Todoroki doesn't have the money to fix it. They cut that one down, which used to be my nice shady spot before I would start my run, which isn't very cool. And this bike is illegally parked, according to the sign, but it's 6 a.m., who cares? It's like private school. It is private school. But my kids don't speak Japanese, so they have to do private school. Not being in Japan, what's the difference between international school and normal public school? Huge, massive difference. And a lot of it's like just cultural difference. Like international school sets you up to be more on like business paths and things like that. Whereas Japanese school builds you up to be a Japanese person in business. Japanese people are great. but there's certain processes and structures in those areas that are suboptimal. So they're just not built for that, if that makes sense. But friends, it's time. Thanks for hanging out. See you on the next one. I'm gonna try to post at least a short a day is my target. And Craw, if you really want to catch up, I just posted a long video called Sprint Retrospective that goes through how I'm doing project management. 1 second. Let's see. There we go. Obasan is out here walking her dog. I lost chat 1 second, but this is so fun. Okay, I'm gonna drop off, be a dad. I gotta go do a pull-up. I'm trying to teach myself how to do pull-ups.